Welcome to Unit 2, Measuring Health and Disease in Populations. If you come to the Introduction to Unit 2, you can look at the overview. I'll show you what's expected of you over the next couple of weeks. This unit does range from week 4 through week 6. You can see each of these listed below, as well as the hyperlinks that take you to these different assignments. As you go into this, for week 4, we're looking at context for populations. And this is where you'll be doing a vulnerable population health concern based on the population that you selected in Unit 1 during week 2. If you notice, there's nothing due on week 4. You add to this project during week 4 and week 5, and it's due on week 5. You can use these resource pages to help provide information as you go. But this assignment has a few different components to it. If you look, there's the content that you're adding from week 2 that we discussed earlier that gives us a brief introduction into your population. It's recommended during week 4 you do the contributing factors. This includes the Healthy People 2020 Social Determinants of Health component, as well as looking at root causes. And we look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So as you look at Maslow's, where does your population fall? What's met, what's unmet? You're going to kind of do an assessment of your population based on these different tools and based on these different evaluations. You're also going to go down to the specific health concerns. And this is where we look more at, for your specific population, are there higher risks for communicable and non-communicable conditions? There's a lot more information in the resource page that can link you to areas where you can find some of this information for your populations. I encourage you to explore other scholarly sources as well. So you do need to make sure that by the end of week 5, you've gone in and done this content and submitted all as one section. So again, week 4, you work on this assignment, you continue on it with week 5 and submit it then. Week 6, if you are a hybrid student, will be face-to-face. If you're an online-only student, this will be done completely online, but we're going to be doing a comparison and contrast of different populations. At this point, you should be fairly well versed in some of the needs that your population has based on the project that you've just completed during week 4 and 5. So you'll be coming together and working with other people in your course to start to form groupings. Now, the most logical form of groupings is to look back at some of the population clumps. So let me really quickly pull that back up for you as a reference. Just one moment. Again, when we come back to this population selection that you did, you'll notice that the populations are kind of categorized by similarities. So, for example, substance misuse, abuse, and addiction does include alcohol, as well as illicit narcotics and opioids, as well as prescription drugs. So it would make logical sense that those 3 could work together for comparison and contrast. But the course is open to other pairings if you see some form that could match up into a population that really strongly overlaps, or that you see more often than not combined into an individual. So if you want to do a grouping other than these, please let your instructor know, and they can help you determine whether that is appropriate or inappropriate for meeting the objectives throughout the semester. It is also possible to, when you do your selection initially and as you start to group up, it's possible to work on your own, but you are strongly encouraged to get into groups, anywhere 2 to 4. First of all, it gives you a broader perspective of different things that affect these populations, but also it helps distribute the workload a little more evenly, which you may appreciate as the semester goes on. Now, whether you are in one of those categorized groups or not, during this comparison and contrast, you will be partnered up with other people, even if they're not within your specific group or if you're working alone. And what you can start to do is look to see what's the same within your individual populations and what are some specific needs outside of that your individual population needs that others may not. Again, you are strongly encouraged to work with those who are in the same category as you in the corresponding population categories that I just showed you a moment ago.